Live button, hit the screen one.
It's time to even the score. You know what's in store. I'm a fiend for the dream and I'm yearning for more. With every hit they drop, I cannot be stopped. I'm a young rolling stone and I'm ready to rock. Who ready for war with the goddess? I promise you all chatter. Young Slim Shady, I've been crazy like Marshall Mathers. They thought the story finished, I started a new chapter. That's my cute dog, smooth with the shimmy like a kappa. If you're looking for some trouble, I can give you a taste, man. You better get out my face for real. I'm just going after goals, ain't no way they can stop this. Like champagne bottles, I'm popping. They say that it's pure nirvana by the way that I'm rocking. They hate and push her back like mosh pits. I'm just going after goals, ain't no way they can stop this. Like champagne bottles, I'm popping. They say that it's pure nirvana by the way that I'm rocking. They hate and push her back like mosh pits. Now follow my progression, it's time to teach them a lesson. Like Usher, these are my confessions, never coming second. Gotta keep it pressing, that's without a question. Power in the tongue, words are a mighty weapon. That's why I speak with intention and mention only things that attention guarantees my ascension. They say you can't, you gotta show them you can and you will. It's a fight for your life, this is kill or be killed. If you're looking for some trouble, I can give you a taste, man. You better get out my face for real. I'm just going after goals, ain't no way they can stop this. Like champagne bottles, I'm popping. They say that it's pure nirvana by the way that I'm rocking. They wait and push her back like mosh pits. I'm just going after goals, ain't no way they can stop this. Like champagne bottles, I'm popping. They say that it's pure nirvana by the way that I'm rocking. They wait and push her back like mosh pits.
Get ready to join the conversation. Win or lose, victory or agonizing defeat, disappointment or glory. Climbing the Pocket is here. Hey everybody, it's Dave here, and the great, the wonderful, you know him as Flip Muzzy.
No, don't play that music. Don't play that music. That's victory music. That's joyous music. That's not what we got today.
Yeah, but today, when let me kill my volume. It's still up. Here we go.
You listen to yourself. You got your like a Kellen Mond in the pocket, man.
Well, I had my telephone, which I was monitoring the YouTube feed, and of course I had the volume up. I thought I turned it down. That's normal part of the process. But like everybody else, it's the preseason, and we're trying to fine tune this thing. Speaking of fine tuning this is the new Climbing the Pocket post-game show. And you can expect 4 regulars. Myself, the great and wonderful Flip Mozzie. I want to hit that music again. Mr. Jason Brown and Matt Anderson as regulars afterwards. Jason was busy today with a wedding. He's excused. And Matt was busy selling liquor at his store, which is an honorable thing to do. Lord knows we all can use it. Anyways, today is the first show, and we want to get in after the game. How are you doing, Flip?
I'm doing well. I'm, coming in Los Angeles, California. We got Dave in Austin, Texas. And the fans in the comments, Mary, Mark, Raymond, Anthony, tell us where you're tuning in from. We're going to get right into this post-game preseason talk. And, we don't got to get all fired up about it. It's just the first time to see our team in purple. But we are going to get into the details here. So we're happy that y'all are tuning in. This post-game show is going to be going all season long.
Absolutely. Today's game was the Vikings versus the Broncos. And it turns out that Mike Zimmer rested 30 players. And all the starters on offense and all the starters on defense and anybody that was injured, plus some, got to sit on the bench, wear their jerseys, wear their masks if they're not vaccinated. And you got to see who wasn't on a few of the shots and who was. And it was an interesting game because it's basically the Broncos 1s versus our 2s and 3s. So, what's your first impressions, Flip?
Yeah, my first impression is kind of what I expected. I think it was a smart move to rest all of those players. I think it was smart to kind of keep the play calling boring. And,
It was.
what we did see, I think they even got more conservative. Once they got in that game, you have to remember the opening kickoff of this game, Denver had a player get injured and had to be walked off the field. He was limping off the field. And then we found later that Kene Nwangu also got injured on that play. So you're looking at a team that, came in excited to give some people some live reps, but also wanted to leave the game healthy. When there's injuries on the first play of the game, that's like a whoa moment. Let's calm down here. And I think that's really what led to all the vanilla play calling. We did see some issues on defense, but overall, I just want to see that injury report first and foremost. Make sure Wangu's okay. Make sure Cameron Smith's okay. Make sure there's no other injuries,
Those
and
were
go
the
from
two I
there.
saw. Wangu was listed questionable on as a knee. Hopefully, that's not serious because I was looking forward to seeing him play, right?
Yeah.
And I was struggling with NFL Network at the time and missed that. I did see Cameron Smith bang his head on the turf, causing a possible concussion. Hopefully, it's uber minor and he's done with that within days, and he'll be back out there.
So, Dave, one positive. You get one positive from this game, all four quarters, 33-6 loss. What is your one positive from preseason week 1 versus the Broncos?
Chris Boyd's going to make the team. He played very well.
Okay. Nice. That was, look, clear cut. We're moving fast today. For me, I think the one positive I'd have to say is Wyatt Davis. I think he, it's against second team, but it seems like he's holding his own. And it was good. I mean, really for a team that has nothing going on at the offensive line, I guess. Man, every time, you can tell I'm a Vikings fan because every time I think positives or negatives, I always think about the offensive line. Wyatt Davis was my main positive. And I also, Kellen Mond didn't have the best stat sheet, but I think a guy going into his 4th practice with the team, I thought he looked okay. We just need some receivers who can catch the ball, apparently.
Well, what I liked about Kellen Mond was when he'd get pressure, he'd move and try to step up. He may have gotten sacked at the time, and no wonder he moved up, and then he tried to shuffle pass forward. But he moved. He was not frozen in place. And that is such a refreshing thing to see from him. I like the young kid. I think he's going to develop nicely.
Okay. Give me your negative now. One negative.
Dorn, backup safety, is not going to make the team. He was out of position. He blew it on one of the touchdowns. He was horrible. He wasn't the only one, though. I could list a few of those that fell into that category.
Okay. That's okay. I guess that is a negative. That's not the negative. The negative is Dakota Dozier. It has to be Dakota Dozier. I had to look up this guy's career earnings by the end of their first quarter. It's just ridiculous that this guy's made $6 million playing in the NFL when he can't even hold his ground during the first preseason game. I mean, come on now.
What was it? The first drive? Holding. Safety. Right? And then the next drive or the drive after? Holding. Right? And it was just like, Dozier, he shouldn't even be on the football field. It was bad. Dozier was it, without a doubt. It's just that.
And I'm not even trying to get a full look at the team here. I'm honestly, whatever they need to do to get into field goal range so I can see Greg Joseph attempt more than 2 field goals during the game. That's all I want for. The guy only had 2 kicks. I just wanted to see if he could make a 40-yarder or make a 50-yarder. Didn't even really get to see that. Britton Colquitt, don't really want to see him either, so I'm glad they were going for it on 4th down. But get in field goal range and just give this kicker some live reps. And Dozier, for me, if I had to put the blame on one person for why I didn't get to see my field goals, It's Dakota Dozier.
Seth, you make me laugh because it's true. You made Samia look good, and Samia was rated worse than Dozier last year, and
Yeah.
that's bad. And if I was either one of those two guards, the one thing I would be doing is finding me some offensive line experts and hooking up with them all in the off season, right? Some retired guys.
Yeah.
Call up Mike Tice, somebody to teach me how to play and up my level and work to make the next step. It's obviously looks like they did nothing and they've actually regressed. At
Yeah,
least Doja has.
what you could blame it on just a lot of new faces in the room and a new coach. So maybe they're not coordinated, they're not communicating like they should be, and that's using. But it's bullshit. I will say that again, this is preseason week 1. This is if you're a Vikings fan, you know that Viking season is a season of roller coasters. It's a season of ups and downs. We gain nothing by seeing them come out and look great today. I mean, sure, we could have done what Denver did. We could have been playing a 5-year veteran quarterback into the third quarter, but that really, that might feel good, but it doesn't really say anything about what this team is capable of. I'm not saying that they're going to be fine week 1, but I'm saying that there's time for them to get better. And any takeaway from this game that isn't looking for improvement is just worthless. So it's good that we have things to talk about. It's good that we know where they need to improve. We need to get Dakota Dozier off the team. It's not even an offensive line issue, if you ask me. We need some receivers to be able to catch the freaking ball. Like, this is hands. This is fundamentals. And then on defense all around, if you can't stay with a guy, if you're outmatched, I understand that. But this is basic things. This is being able to tackle. This is understanding your coverage assignments. And this is being able to stay on side during third downs and not get pulled off side on a hard count. Those are basic things they should be able to do well. And that's what really led to the bad score, what we're looking at. So improve on those things, 3 things, and let's go from there.
What did you think of Mike Zimmer's game plan of basically resting all those starters and this being sort of like the game 4 where you have all the backups play?
I think when you look at this roster, it's exactly what you need to do. It's way too early to try to prepare your veterans for an actual game because let's say that they put Kirk out there and Adam Thielen out there and they all look great. They all look ready for the season. Then they've got to wait, 2.5, 3 weeks to actually play another game. Doesn't make sense in my opinion. What do you think?
I was going to say that because after this third game, there's a weekend off, which surprised me that the NFL had a blank weekend in there.
Right.
And so I fully understand. You ramp the starters up next week and then the third game and then see how they do. So they're warmed up come week 1. And this was the time to see the youngsters that could possibly make the grade. And then you start whittling down on your depth chart of who I'm going to play. Who do I want to see more of? If I'm the coach, who do I want to see more of next week, right? And they'll play after the starters go out after their first quarter of play or whatever it is. Then I want to see more of these guys. And then I'll get it down to all right, here's my last little bit. You guys that totally screwed up in week 1 this weekend, today's game, you'll have just a couple minutes to shine or you're basically the writing's on the wall, you're done. You're making our decision for us as a coach of who we're going to keep on the team. And I think it's sort of brilliant because I haven't seen any other teams or heard of any other teams. I've been busy, but I haven't heard of any other teams that approached it in this sort of manner. I think it's a good
Yeah, it's almost like they knew they were only charging $3 for the game in the worst seats. But again, you want to look at the bottom 60 players on the roster, which is exactly what they did. You have 2 weeks now to coach those guys up. You've got a full game of teach tape for those guys. The Denver Broncos, great, they won. They're only going to be able to really coach their depth players on the last 20 minutes of that game. We've got a full 60 minutes to look at. We've got a bunch of players to look at. So I think that's key. I know we had to play some of our veterans. Amir Abdullah was in there because of the injury to Wangu, which is great. I thought AJ Rose was definitely a highlight. He was a trooper, but even he can learn some things. So full 60 minutes, Kirk and Justin Jefferson and Daniil Hunter, they also have some time to ramp up, get themselves in that season form for preseason game number 2. And, those 2 weeks might be met with some roster moves as well. All 32 NFL teams have that time off. So we might be sitting here looking at, 3-4 new players on the team. Mm-hmm. And so you have to come away with that knowledge. It doesn't help you at all to confirm that Justin Jefferson is good. Like, what if Justin Jefferson has three targets for 2 catches and a drop? That doesn't tell you anything about how the regular season is going to go. But when Amir Smith-Marset has 7 targets and only catches 2 of those balls, that tells you something. That tells you that that guy ran up to 30 to 40 routes this game and either wasn't getting open or couldn't make the catch, or, couldn't beat his man when he made the catch. He was running short of the sticks. Amir Smith-Marset has so much teach tape that he has so many things that he has to improve on over the next 2 weeks. That's a perfect example of why you bench your starter, so you can look at these depth guys in detail.
Exactly. Now, the one thing I liked ISM was on I think it was a punt return or a kick return.
Kick return, yeah.
Yeah, that he made a move, broke to the outside, and got some yards. I did like seeing that.
He had some shake. I saw a comment that, fans love how cocky Amir Smith-Marset is. Fans hate how cocky he is, and that makes me laugh. I mean, the guy needs to play with swagger to be at his best. So it's good to see him out on the field, at the first time.
No, I mean, when he becomes regularly earning it, everybody's going to be loving that. Absolutely loving it.
Yeah, and that is really the other piece of this, is that Jake Browning just does not look good at all. Anthony hit it on the head here. It is very disappointing, not only mainly Dakota Dozier, but Jake Browning just uncomfortable in that pocket behind Dozier and unable to hit really just any of his throws with conviction or timing. You saw his weak arm strength. You saw his lack of confidence in the pocket. And it's just so hard to get any type of rhythm going when your quarterback can't throw a 4-yard out pass. So I just, again, we need to see either Kellen Mond move up to quarterback 2, because I think he does actually. For the sake of practice, for the sake of preseason, Kellen Mond's going to give you a better look at what the rest of your team can do. And Mike, I love that you're tuning in, man. That's a ridiculous comment. Super Bowl teams show up for preseason. Please.
Plenty of them that have gone 0-4 in the preseason and gone on to win the Super Bowl.
It's like, I think Bill Belichick has a losing preseason record. Like, the 49ers don't even show up for preseason. The Chiefs don't show up for preseason. That's just some weird, vague comment. I don't even know where you're getting that from. Mike Zimmer has I think Mike Zimmer's winning percentage in the preseason is like .700, and it hasn't translated to crap during the season in regards to the Super Bowl. So if you're trying to correlate preseason success to Super Bowl success, I have a bridge to sell you. Freddie Hall, how you doing, man?
And Tip was possibly right. The only reason Brownie was QB2 is because he was vaccinated. That helped. Without a doubt, that helped. I think he knows the playbook. I think he can execute it, just not well. I don't think he has the overall talent to be well, but he might, as if he grows, be a nice, one of those journeyman backup types. But that's the best we can hope for.
Yeah, and it's great. We've got some passionate fans here. People are pissed at the coaching staff. I'm not sure what you
It's a
wanted to see
preseason game.
from them. I don't know. I honestly think that they need to change the jerseys during the preseason to remind fans that these are the games that do not count. This is a glorified practice with fans in a stadium. These teams practice in their stadiums during the week, and nobody's trying to fire coaches based on those practices. So, if you wanna make a change now, if you're Ziggy Wilf and you saw the preseason the game today and it's enough for you to fire Mike Zimmer, then you probably should have made that change 9 months ago. I don't know what you can really tell from the coaching staff based on this game.
Nah, Temp was hyped for Kenny. I was too, but hey, it is what it is.
Now, I like that idea, Freddie. The starters should wear their real jerseys, and so you can see the Broncos lining up with like 9 starters on defense, and then the Vikings offense have Amir Abdullah in the real jersey and all the other scrubs in in the preseason jerseys. Yeah, man, it's a wild game.
Any other questions from the fans before we log off? Because, like I said, this is a preseason game. It's flip set a glorified practice. And basically that's what it is. It's putting guys on tape, full speed, full hitting, everything else. It's nothing more. It gives us fans a chance to see some players, whether they perform or don't perform, whether they get us angry like Dorn did to me or Dozier did to everybody.
Cam Bynum getting burned.
There's just all sorts of stuff. But it's too early to call for any coach's head when the season hasn't even started yet. So
yeah, and I think if people are right. Mike Zimmer is probably going off on that locker room. And to be honest, if I'm a player in that locker room, like how am I even supposed to react to that? If you're Stephen Weatherly in the locker room after a preseason week 1 game and Mike Zimmer's tearing into you, like, I've been in the league 6 years. I've got 3 more weeks to prepare for the season. So I know Mike Zimmer will have some harsh words, but let's be honest. It's not really going to trigger them to get better. They're going to have to rely on the same work ethic and the same talent that they had before this preseason game in order to improve. So have fun, Mike Zimmer. Tear into him. It was a disappointing performance. You will definitely want to see better fundamentals. The point is you've got 2 weeks to put that in place. And so what I really want to hear from the commenters is I want to hear what you want to see in preseason week 2. Do you want to see the same guys who play better, or are you just done and do you want to see the starters take over and see how they look? How about you, Dave? What do you think about that?
I expect to see the starters for a quarter and then back to the everybody else route.
Yeah.
Freddie asked, do we think if Wyatt Davis has moved up, earned himself a RG2 spot with today's game? I'd have to watch all the film, and I'm sure Rauscher will break it all down, but there's a good chance he might have. When you've got Dozier doing so badly, and he seemed to handle himself well enough that it's things like that move you up the depth chart.
Yeah, I disagree. We still have Oli Udoh as the starter there. Mm-hmm. So they've got, again, is it automatic Davis moves up? No, he's got 2 weeks of practice to unseat Dozier. And this game certainly gives him some confidence and an upper hand to do that. But it's not decided yet. They've got 3 more weeks of practice. I think the only position where I said for sure, okay, this position is locked in, is wide receiver 3. I think Chad Beebe didn't even dress today, and he locked in the wide receiver position, the 3rd wide receiver position. Even though everybody hates that take, it's kind of true. I mean, Dede Westbrook still isn't healthy.
Did Osborne play today? I don't think he
Osborne did play today, and
did
he had what? Yeah, exactly. He was not even noticeable. Amir Smith-Marset, obviously, with the up and down day. So I don't know how you can go into week 1 without Chad Beebe being your week 1 3rd receiver right now. No, man, Freddie, come on. Zach Davison didn't deserve a touchdown. He didn't catch the ball. If he deserved a touchdown, he would have scored a touchdown.
He caught the ball. You got to hold on to the football, no matter what. That's the key. Yeah, he got hit. You got to hold on to the football. Without that, now
Chad BB
on the guards, I think Ole's won the job. Period. I think we're just talking between does Dozier drop behind Davis?
Can we say that though? Because we haven't seen Ole. Like Ole may have looked miserable today if he had played.
We saw bits and pieces yesterday when they were going full speed, and the day before, the 2 days of the joint practice.
All right, yeah. And now, Mr. Shea, you see, I love me some Joseph Shea because he was tuning in to the shows this week, so he knows all I wanted was a clean kicker game. And like I was saying earlier, I would have liked to see more kicking, but the 2 kicks he attempted, he made. So Flip's going to bed happy tonight. I'm going to go, relax by the pool, sip on some spiked lemonade, and then rest easy because I know our kicker didn't miss. He didn't doink one off the field goal. And if you all think that you're flipping out now about this preseason game, imagine this same game, but the kicker missed both field goals. Imagine that.
Yes. But it's a preseason game. It's a beautiful day. We have plenty of time in the evening. So I would suggest everybody grab your favorite beverage. Flip talked about his spiked lemonade. And enjoy yourself. Have some good food. Meet with some good friends. File this in. All right, we're going to wait till we hear about practice and who moves where. And we'll go from there. And we'll look forward to next week.
And next time we see him play against the Colts, we are going to see Ole pancake some dudes, okay?
Yes. And then
we're going to see
I'll need some alone
Justin
time,
Jefferson,
but that'll be okay.
Adam Thielen. Dave's going to be getting alone time by the second quarter. Daniil Hunter will be back. Hopefully Kene Nwangu will be back. And we got the defense too. Patrick Peterson, Harrison Smith, Xavier Woods. Is it Xavier or Xavier? Maybe we'll find out during the Colts game. Eric Kendricks, Anthony Barr, all the names, 30 players. The best Vikings players will be here in 2 weeks, and we'll get to talk about them. So hopefully the takes won't be about Dakota Dozier for much longer.
Absolutely. And with that, any final words there, Flip?
SKOL Vikes. Y'all enjoy the weekend now. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you back here next time.
Absolutely. SKOL Vikings! Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and ring the bell. And if you're listening on your favorite aggregator, make sure you rate us. And always feel free to join the conversation here at Climbing the Pocket. SKOL, everybody.